and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to give you my best tips for decluttering paperwork while decluttering and shredding my own papers. So without further delay, here are my tips. Tip 1, gather all of the piles of paperwork that you have lying around your house and put it into one place, and then go through it in one big effort rather than lots of mini declutters, because honestly it's more likely that you'll get it all done this way, and even though it's daunting, believe me, it's a lot less hassle. Once you've done this, I suggest doing a quick sift through and splitting them into 3 distinct piles. Pile 1 are the things that you want to keep, pile 2 are the things that you want to shred, and pile 3 are the things that can be recycled. For the keep pile, you should seriously scrutinise each and every single piece of paper to make sure that you're not keeping hold of unnecessary clutter. In the keep pile, you should have mainly original documents like birth certificates, passports, marriage certificates, divorce papers, certificates for degrees or diplomas or any other educational achievement, wills, medical records, mortgage and vehicle titles. Following these original documents, you should have things that you need to keep safe for tax purposes. So things like receipts, just make sure that they're all together, ideally in some kind of plastic wallet so that they're all together and not scattered around the place. For the shred pile, this pile should be all of the unwanted documentation that contains personal details. So documents that include your name, address, PIN numbers, medical information, financial or legal paperwork, especially things for pre-approved loans or credit cards. Any of that needs to be shredded. Finally, for the recycle pile, this pile should contain anything that you want to discard that doesn't include any personal information. Tip 2, be ruthless. Once you've gathered everything, it's time to be ruthless. For old magazines and newspapers, it is highly unlikely that you're going to read them cover to cover again, so just recycle them. Make sure that you don't flick through magazines, because you're just going to get distracted and it's going to make the whole process so much slower. If you're keeping entire magazines or newspapers just for one specific article or feature, just clip that article and throw the rest of the magazine or newspaper into the recycle bin. Or better still, scan the article or take a photo and save it digitally to Dropbox or wherever you save your digital documents. It'll be easy to find them and you'll have no clutter at all. Similarly with coupons, I just clip that specific coupon and then I put it straight in my purse so that it's near my credit cards or my money. That way I'm prompted to actually use the coupon when I'm paying for something. I discard the rest of the paper that come with that coupon into the recycle bin. Make sure that you get rid of manuals for appliances or household equipment. In this day and age, if you need to problem solve, you can just do a quick Google search. You do not need to keep the manual for that baby car seat. Problem solving online is so much better anyway, because oftentimes people have come up against the same problems that you're having with any appliances or equipment, and they will have solutions there for you that you can follow. Failing this, you can always email, call, or reach out to the company over social. If you have an issue with an appliance, you do not need a stockpile of user manuals. By far, the most difficult paper items to be ruthless with are the sentimental ones, like cards and kids' artwork, but that stuff really piles up. Now, I'm a very sentimental soul, but even I've learned to just keep a few things that are really special and to toss the rest. I have cards from my fiance and my little boy, and I also have cards and letters and things like that from relatives that are no longer here, and I keep all of those things in a keepsake box. But honestly, most of the other things like cards from Christmas or birthdays, I just get rid of because it just takes up too much space. Similarly with your child's artwork, I just try to keep a couple of pieces from each year, and then I will put those things again into that keepsake box. If I kept every single craft and painting that my son has ever created, I would be overrun with clutter. In the long run with these kind of things, I think that memories and photographs are far more important than all of this paper clutter. Now, I don't know about you, but I am terrible for keeping hold of lots of course notes. My solution for course notes that you think are going to be valuable further down the line, you think they're going to come in useful for whatever reason, my solution to this is to either scan or take a photo of any course notes and to save them digitally and then disregard the paperwork or the handouts. Tip 3, you do not need to keep hold of all of your bank statements. I repeat, you do not need to keep hold of bank statements. Bank statements are one of those things that we feel compelled to keep because you just think that they might be important. But really, unless you're applying for a mortgage in the near future, then you just don't need to keep hold of them. If you are planning on getting a mortgage in the very near future, then I would suggest holding on to maybe at the very most 12 months worth of paper bank statements, especially if you're self-employed. For people who are salaried employees, it's usually less than that. But just remember, if you ever need bank statements for whatever reason, then you can always request those paper statements from your bank. You can give them a ring or reach out to them over email or any kind of message, or you can download them from your online banking facility. And that segues nicely into my 4th tip, where you can go paperless. Transfer all of your accounts online. Everything that you receive paper statements for or bills, and that includes obviously banks and utility companies. Nowadays, banks and utility companies have the option to stop receiving paper statements or bills. If you can't find that option anywhere, then just reach out to them and tell them that you want to go paperless. If you're scared or nervous that you will miss payments because you actually rely on those paper bills as a prompt, then really you just don't need to worry, because pretty much all companies will send out an email or some kind of text notification to let you know when payments are due. So it is highly unlikely that you will miss a payment for that reason. Tip 5 is that you can get rid of any expired policies, like expired insurance policies, loans or credit card policy documents. Now, unless you're facing any kind of audit or you have filed for bankruptcy, my general approach to dealing with old policies that have expired is that you can scan those documents and then save them digitally, and then you can make sure that you do shred the old paperwork, because it's highly unlikely that you'll ever need to refer to it again. But if you do, then you have that saved digitally, so you can access any reference numbers in your digital files, and you've got all of that there. But you've got the added benefit of not having any kind of paper clutter. Tip 6, keep all of your original documents in one safe and easily accessible place within your filing system. I've mentioned these documents before, but I'll run through them again. I'm talking about birth certificates, investment paperwork, marriage certificates, divorce papers, wills, pertinent legal documents, medical records if you have them, any kind of educational certificates, mortgage titles, vehicle titles. With original documents, it's very likely that you will need to access them again. I would advise that you make digital copies of all of these original documents in case anything goes missing, and then you've got reference numbers to hand if you need to reapply for them. Tip 7, stay paper free. Once you've gone to the hassle of doing a huge declutter and you've got rid of lots of unwanted papers, stick to these good habits to keep paper clutter to an absolute minimum, and that will save you from having to go through the whole process again. Before bringing mail into your house, have a sift through it. Immediately disregard any junk mail such as unwanted flyers, restaurant menus, catalogues, any of that kind of thing. Just put it straight into the recycling bin. That way you're nipping any issues of paper build-up in the bud. Scrutinise every single piece of mail that you're left with. If it's anything that needs actioning, like say vehicle tax bills or insurance documents, just make sure that you discard that reminder immediately after it's done. Another big tip is to stay on top of your receipts. Most point of sale card machines or petrol station machines ask if you want a receipt. Even if you pay in cash, the cashier will usually say, do you want a receipt? For small, inexpensive items, I always say, no, I don't want a receipt. But if you need any receipts for tax purposes, then just make sure that you store them in that safe place as soon as possible. One of the most useful things that you can buy is a shredder machine. Honestly, it's one of the best purchases ever because you can just shred any unwanted documents there and then and do it as you go. You're not going to have a big stockpile of documents to shred. Plus, it gives you that peace of mind that all of your personal details have been destroyed. It's well worth the investment, and you can pick up a quality shredder relatively inexpensively. If you're interested in learning tips on how to file your own personal paperwork and you'd like me to do a video on my own minimalist filing system, then do let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for choosing my video to watch today. If you like cleaning, decluttering and organising videos, then be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post videos here twice a week and I'd love for you to join me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
No matter where I